Hi, hello, it's thieleaf. I thought I'd take you through the process of setting up my health tracker and my planning setup for the week. And I think I'm going to do a bit of a voiceover talking about my thoughts about the Hobonichi release, kind of over the top while I do this. Mostly I'm just procrastinating getting started on tidying up after the carnage of building IKEA shelves. But I do need to plan the things I need to do. So yeah, I'll just do that. I'll hand you over to voiceover me. Okay, hi, hello, it's voiceover me. I did consider maybe talking about what I was actually setting up as I was doing it, but honestly I think it's all pretty self-explanatory and also kind of boring. So I'll occasionally have a little caption on the screen, but other than that, I think you can figure it out by looking at it. I did also try to do some like actual editing things, so we'll see how that goes. But yes, hobonichi thoughts. So I'm recording this on the 26th of August now. I recorded the video the day before on Monday. So everything has been revealed and I know what I'm getting. It's actually been pretty easy for the hobonichi weeks. The Yumikitikishi one was not enough to sway me in getting the week's mega, which is what I was wanting and hoping for. The antique green is a beautiful color and I'm really glad for that one. So yeah, I'm just gonna go antique green week's mega, gonna cover it in stickers, and that's gonna be really great. I did really think that the Yumikitikishi one was lovely, and the one that's that painter of the sky, that one's really pretty. I can definitely see that one being pretty popular. But yeah, not quite for me. Nothing was tempting me away from the green, which is perfect. As for the covers, I think I had said in my video before that I was planning to get a couple of covers. I really wanted to have at least one A6 and one A5, just because I have notebooks that would do well to have covers for them. And unfortunately, I'm only going to be getting one A6 cover because the others that I would have liked are the Junji Ito ones. I wanted the A6 and the A5 of those, and I was really excited, and then it came out that those are Japan only. They're not even Hobonichi only, they are Japan only covers, which is so sad. Devastating. I'm being a bit dramatic. It's not that big a deal. It is a shame though. I do think they're really lovely, but I do not think that the shipping price from Hobonichi directly is worth it. I'm not going to be buying from Hobonichi directly. That just doesn't work for me, especially now that they don't do the free shipping. Not that I would have gotten up to that amount anyway. But like I might have braved a group buy if they were still doing the free shipping. I might have braved making, you know, some connections. But since there's no free shipping anyway, that's just no point. Yeah, I thought those designs were really lovely, but they're just not meant to be for me. The Moomin covers were also really lovely. I would have liked to get the A5 one of that, but yeah, again, they can't sell them outside of Japan for some reason. So, alas, I will be getting the Yumikitikishi one, the A6. I do already have the A6 and the A5 from this year, from 2025, but I think it's different enough. Well, to me, I mean, I think it's lovely and adore it, and I actually won't remove the pen loops from it. I think the accent on them is a really lovely detail. The other cover that I did briefly kind of consider, well, I didn't actually consider it. It's more that the Tamagotchi cover is so cool, but the background is white, and I think it would have looked better with just like any color as the background over white. So yeah, that one's not it for me, unfortunately. But there are a lot of Tamagotchi accessories that I'm going to be looking forward to, like the Deco Rush, the stickers. I don't think I'm getting the post-it notes, but the pencil boards, I'm not going to be getting the folders yet, but I do think I probably will get them at some point. We'll see. And also the Yumikitikishi accessories, I am definitely planning on getting the sticky note rolls, because I actually have a need of sticky notes that are actually like sticky and not memo notes for my weeks, since I won't be having the back pages to do any kind of list making or like, you know, notes. I do need something to be able to just like stick on the week to be like, here's some tasks I have to do, but like not, you know, necessarily with any day planned to them. I'm also going to be getting the Hiroko Kubota A6 notebook. I didn't really need to. I would have felt fine waiting on that one, but really I just needed something else in my order and I didn't want to choose between 2 different diamine inks. I'm already getting 1 diamine ink in my order and I didn't want to have to choose between the 2 others that were like secondary to how much I wanted that one, so I just got the notebook instead. The cover design is actually one that I had on a week's notebook in 2024. I thought that the Landscape A5 notebook was really cool. I do kind of want to get that one, but I don't need to get it yet, I don't think. I don't foresee, it's not like a cover where it's like could run out. They'll keep making it, so I'm not too fussed about that. But yeah, as we're talking about hobonichi, there's a lot to say about the paper, and I'll preface this again. I said it in my last video, or not my last video, but my last video where I was actually talking about notebook stuff. I absolutely understand that a lot of people just do not want to give hobonichi a second chance, or just, tomoe of the paper in general. And I absolutely understand that because, the paper was really bad and inconsistent. I'm incredibly lucky that I have had extremely minimal issues. And so it's very easy for me to be willing to give them a second chance. Whereas, if you've had your associations with that paper, sullied, then of course you're going to be unwilling. I don't think it's dramatic or anything. I think that's completely reasonable. If you've been burned, you're not going to put your hand in fire again. I can absolutely understand wanting to sit back and wait to see if it's sorted out. Whereas because I haven't had the issues, I'm much more willing to test it out, I also know that for me and the way that I use my week's book, it does not matter if it's, absolutely terrible and I can't use my fountain pens. That's not as big of a deal to me because I'm not really decorative with my books anyway. The fountain pens that I use in here is an added bonus. I have quite a few colours of the Unicorn 1 pens. I'll be fine. A bit sad. I'll be a little bit sad if I can't use my fountain pens in that, but I'll be fine. But the paper tests that we have seen have seemed quite promising. I mean, the main problem with this year's paper was the inconsistency. So I'm not completely sold on just a couple of paper tests where they tested 1 page, But the Yoseka paper test that they did was really promising and looked kind of like old tomoe paper, because the scented ink did not bleed or feather at all. And I have that exact ink, and on original tomoe paper it does not bleed at all, even when you put on an incredibly heavy swatch that takes over 10 minutes to dry. But on Sanzen paper, even the Sanzen paper that I enjoyed from 2024, on heavier swatches it did feather and bleed. It was just about alright to use in a fine or extra fine pen for me, but it should be taken into account that I also prefer pens that are considered dry to other people. So, so I don't really think that's indicative of everyone's use for those kind of scented inks. But on the Yoseka paper test that they did of this paper that's supposedly going to be used for all of the hobonichi planners this year, or next year I suppose, it didn't feather or bleed at all, which is really promising, honestly. It's Ashley said that it took longer to dry too, which is also really good. Not as useful for planning, but it also means that the coating on the paper is less absorbent. Obviously there is still that show through on those really heavy swatches, like there is with the original tomoe paper, but there is kind of a difference between there's a difference between ghosting show through and bleed through, at least to me. When I consider something to be actual bleed through, to me that means that it has permeated the coating of the paper itself, and the coating on the other side. It looks quite different. It's not just about if it transfers to the other page either. It's about how it's moved through the 3D space of the paper. And original tomoe paper did not have that bleeding issue. Obviously, if you laid down a really heavy swatch, that was the things on the other side. But it would show on the other side, but it wouldn't fully permeate and saturate the paper. But yes, that aside, I'm quite hopeful. I did also see Lined Musings paper test, which seemed fine, but the swatches that she didn't look as good. Not the quality of her swatching wasn't good. Just to clear that, I don't mean that. it looked like the ink kind of pulled away from the edges. But to me, I'm not entirely sure if I think that that's the paper itself or if I think that there was maybe oils on the paper, because that's kind of what it looked like. And that could have been Lined Musings, like hands touching the paper, or it could have been other people touching the paper beforehand. Obviously, I don't know. I've not seen this exact book's like entire life, so I have no idea about that. But again, I'm not particularly planning on using these books for, well, at least I'm not using my weeks for swatching. If the paper is absolutely terrible, I will just use my gel pens, and then next year, or I will spend next year thinking about my solution for 2027. Where I'll probably just buy a blank notebook and have all of the same stuff in there. Oh, and rest assured, I will absolutely be doing tests in the back of the notebook, in the extra pages, not the note pages, but the extras, and probably some of the month pages that I won't use as well. I'll have comparisons to original Tomoeova paper, as well as Sanzen from last year that behaved quite well, and then paper from this year. Although, again, my paper from this year seems to be mostly fine, but, you know, that will still give, like, kind of an overview of that. What else do I have to say? I will definitely be starting my week's book in December. That's just to do with how I view the seasons, especially as someone in the UK. I know that in other places of the world, the year is not quite so easily divided into 4 exact seasons that are, you know, 3 months long each. That is a very UK thing. The reason that, you know, that is such a widespread cultural idea is, you know, because of certain actions that England has taken in the past that have affected the whole world. But yes, in the UK, that is kind of the case. You know, for me, summer is June, July, August, autumn is September, October, November, winter is December, January, February, and spring is March, April, May. And it really kind of trips me out starting new things a month into winter. It just kind of makes things and time feel quite weird to me. So I definitely love that the weeks facilitates me being able to start in December, which does mean that the last few pages of December will also be completely free for me to do some paper testing, which is very fun. I think that's all I had to say. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I've been talking for 15 solid minutes, but it also feels like the moment I turn the camera on, or, you know, a voice recorder on, I immediately forget everything I ever wanted to say. I also wanted to talk about the way that Hobonichi has been addressing the issue of the paper, because I know that that has definitely, you know, caused a lot of ire from a lot of people, and I do agree. I think that kind of wishy-washy language is really irritating. I think it's quite belittling of the issues that people have been having, but I also think that it is to do with the way that Sanzen has been talking about the issue. The post that Hobonichi made talking about the paper recently, the one in the August reveals, it kind of, to me at least, felt like business language. It sounded like business talk implicating that Hobonichi are pressuring Sanzen to fix it. But also the way that they've talked about it before kind of gives the impression that Sanzen have said that there's not a problem with the paper of this year. And that Hobonichi is kind of aware that there is, but without their manufacturer saying that there is a problem, it puts them in a really difficult place for them to be able to say that there is a problem, right? In the same way that, of course, in that Yosaka swatching video, Ashley used some like strange talking around it language, which obviously that was a thing that she was like, that she had to say because they are a seller of the product, and if that's the words that the product has chose to use, then that's the words you have to use as a seller. But yes, by the sounds of it, it really does seem like Hobonichi is saying, like, to Sanzen behind closed doors, you know, you need to fix this. Which is kind of what I thought would happen, because it is such a big deal for Hobonichi to have their brand reputation destroyed the way it has been. And I mean, of course, we'll see how that pans out, but that does seem to be the case. That does seem to be kind of the, like, between the lines reading of what that post was talking about with the paper. Although, of course, they also had that little disclaimer in there that, like, there is variation to be expected because it's a natural product or whatever. I think that's ridiculous. The way that they say it is so, you know, I'm not a fan. While I am defending, like, some of the ways that things have gone on, I'm not, like, defending Hobonichi, you know, I'm not, like, you know, bowing at their feet and sucking their toes, or I shouldn't say that.
But no, like, I'm just kind of trying to give a little bit of a stepped back perspective, especially as someone who's like not actually that caught up in hobonichi as like a brand. I'm currently only going with them for the weeks because it's the most convenient style of book for me. So, you know, and their covers are really pretty. So I get the covers. Oh, also, oh my gosh, my heart goes out to everyone in the US who wants to buy covers but can't buy them without buying a techo as well. That sucks so bad. I'm so sorry that tariffs are a thing. Because that is why, in case you didn't know. The American sales of hobonichi products are packaged with a techo, and it's because techo, the whole package counts as a paper good from Japan, whereas if it's just the cover, it's a non-paper good and from China. So it gets tariffed differently, and also the way that these tariffs are being done are really unpredictable. A lot of businesses don't even know how they would pay the tariff either. It's a mess, though. Highly recommend looking it up, especially from small businesses. They have some really good insight onto that. But yes, I'm really sorry, everyone, that this has come at this time, because, you know, that was the solution for a lot of people, is to buy the fun covers and not the book with inconsistent or unpredictable paper. And that's now like not an option for people, and that's just sad. That sucks. I'm aware that I probably don't sound very genuine because my tone of voice is a little odd, but like I do mean it genuinely. It kind of sucks to have your hobby messed around with. Okay, now I think I'm done. This recording that I'm making on my phone is like 22 minutes long, which seems obscene, but I'm sure I'm going to cut it down a lot because I rambled and I stumble over my words all the time. Yeah, I think I will hand you off to me from the past, I guess, from yesterday, who's going to show you the awful state of my flat. But I can tell you from today, from Tuesday, that my flat is clean now. The procrastination did not take a complete hold of me, even though it did take. There was so much cardboard, and you're going to see some of the cardboard because me from yesterday shows you. There was so much cardboard that it took me over an hour just to rip up the cardboard into small enough pieces to put into the bins, and to remove the tape from it, of course. Over an hour just to rip it up. Unbelievable. Horrible. Okay, that's it. Bye. Okay, I think that's actually it. I do need to backfill some of my notes for yesterday, but I don't really think you need to be along for that. I mean, this kind of showed already what was going on there. Now I really have to clean up. I've got a lot of cardboard to rip up. In fact, hold on. So this looks nice and clean. Not so much. It's mostly just paper and cardboard from the packaging for the shelves. And I've got to rip up all of this cardboard too, and take it out. And then sweep up and, you know, get everything ready to actually, you know, bring my stuff, from my mum's to get to put on my shelves and stuff, because right now they're very empty. They won't be very quickly. Yeah. And I'm sure I've just been talking a whole bunch about my hobonichi thoughts, so I won't say any of that here, but yeah, I think that's it.